This is Belladonna with their song Till Death Do Us Part from the Noir Album on Tell Craig Your Story podcast. Hi guys, Craig here. Welcome to another edition of the podcast, Tell Craig Your Story. Today we'll be speaking to singer-songwriter Luana Caraffa. Now, Luana is the co-founder of Italian band Belladonna, and they have released 6 full-fledged albums. They formed in 2005, gained a lot of success through MySpace. They have been the support band for Duff McKagen's solo band. They've shared the stage with Korn, 9 Nails, to name a few. And they've also released an album with a full orchestra as well. In 2017, they released Soundscape Collection, which is a whole bunch of music that they've created, and this allows the US movies to buy their music. Belladonna has been featured in My Cousin Rachel, Split, Equaliser 2, Stephen King's, to name a few. But before we go, please go to our website. We are on Podbean. Tell Craig Your Story at podbean.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, VK for our Russian listeners, and WeChat for our Chinese listeners, at Tell Craig Your Story. And we are also on YouTube now as well. We have a YouTube channel there. Please go to the link there. It'll also tell you where Tell Craig Your Story podcast is streaming. We're on all the major podcast streaming, Apple iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, etc. And finally, one more thing. We are still running the competition to create the Tell Craig Your Story podcast theme song. Now, if you want to be a part of that, it has to be the song no longer than 90 seconds. And please send it through to our email address, tellcraigyourstory@hotmail.com. All right, here we go. This is the chat that I had with Luana from Belladonna's on Tell Craig Your Story podcast. Hey Luana, how are you doing today?
Hi Greg, nice to hear you. And yes, I'm doing good. And you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. I'm doing good. Like we were just talking about, spent nearly all day listening to your music, and
Thank you very much.
so I'm really enjoying it. So first question I want to ask is, how is everything going in Italy at the moment with the whole coronavirus? Are you staying safe?
Yeah, we are soldiering on. We are in a lockdown right now, and it's more than a month. Started at the end of February, but the lockdown in all Italy it was at the beginning of March, I think. Now I don't remember, because when you are in lockdown, it seems like a year or 2 years.
Yes, you're right.
How many years? I don't know. Yeah, it's like the time is really relative. It is in a physical terms, but now it's more. It's more.
Yes, and is your family safe? And did you have a tour scheduled, or did you have recording scheduled? Did you have to stop it in this period?
I don't live with my family. I'm living alone, so unfortunately I cannot see my parents. I cannot see anyone. Yeah, and now I'm not seeing Dani, which is my
co-writer.
Co-writer of the band, and guitarist of Belladonna, and artistic producer. And we are doing all things together. And now we are doing songs, making new songs, songwriting via video, via Skype.
Right.
We organized too, because we have the pianos in our houses, and guitars. We both play them, so we are writing a lot of songs right now.
Yeah, right. And did you have a tour? Did you have to cancel any gigs during this period?
No, fortunately not. And because right now we were involved in doing many things with some US company, making music for video games, trailers, films. So that was we were really into that in this period, apart from writing new songs, and we are really lucky. Because many other bands are really suffering on its point of view, because right now the music is very bad for musicians, because you can get money from downloads, internet. Spotify is giving you a really small percentage, the smallest percentage even conceived.
Yes.
So you can get money from that, and you get money from gigs. Otherwise, you can get some money from things when your music is used in films and video games, etc. For many bands, and I'm friends with many of them, now it's a real terrible moment, because they don't get any money. For them, that was a job. Sometimes people don't. I mean, not people, just people, but people in governments, they don't understand the musicians are.
Yeah, that's right.
Job. But no, I don't say that, because I mean that now life should be allowed, because it's very dangerous. But I mean that musicians should be supported more in some other ways.
That's right.
And yeah, it's very difficult. But we are lucky because we didn't cancel anything right now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And when we've had other sort of viruses in past, the music was able to still go on, but this time everything is shut.
Okay, yeah.
Can you think of a time that this has happened before? I can't think of a time.
No, I can't remember. I don't know, but probably in a past, I was too young. I actually don't know, but I can remember something really so heavy and so serious.
Yeah.
And there is another thing to say that in the last 20, 30 years, music has really changed. And so with the internet and many things. So what is happening right now is that it's also different because many things have changed. For example, 10 years ago, you could sell albums, CDs.
Yes, CDs.
For example. Yeah, I remember when we produced our first album, and through we were on MySpace, and we are still a self-produced band. We sell many albums.
Yes.
But right now it's different, and it was just I don't know, 12 years ago. It changed really in a quick way. It was so fast. So yeah, I'm seeing some bands that are trying to sell T-shirts, merchandising, but and they I try to sell these things, giving a percentage to the Red Cross.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
Yeah, I understand. But at the same time, they need to get those money because when people see that they are giving that for hospitals, they say, oh, okay, I want to participate. But people don't realize that bands need that money too, because it's not just for charity. It's serious.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So, well, let's hope that it gets all, fixed up and goes away. The Belladonnas can start recording, getting out and playing some live music. So, let's start off. Let's go way back.
If I interrupt you, but
yeah, sure.
I want to add that I was just talking about the music problem because I'm a musician, but I fully recognize that right now many people around the world are living a really difficult time, and we are not an isolated case. So I didn't want to say, musicians are starving and other people are good. I didn't want to say that because I know the many people, for example, in Italy are losing their jobs or their salary have been reduced. So I know that is a difficult time for everyone, except you are rich. But I'm not talking about very rich people. I'm talking about average people.
Yes.
So I just wanted to tell you that I didn't want to push too much on musicians forgetting the other people.
Definitely not. And it's worldwide. It's not just in certain countries. The whole essential workers. There's lots of people that don't have work at the moment. So, let's all stay in home and let's self-isolate and hopefully in the next couple of months we can start getting back to normal and watching live music and having the whole entertainment back to normal and everybody can go back to work.
Yeah, let's hope so. Because it's really a disaster, economic disaster right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I've looked on the news and Italy has been affected a lot. So all the best for the people and my friends and their families in Italy. So
thank you very much.
No problem. So let's go way back. So tell us about. Let's talk about when the Belladonnas sort of formed. I do believe it was around 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
So So tell us, were you in bands before the Belladonnas previously?
Yeah, me and Dani, the guys I mentioned it before. It's my partner in crime in Belladonna.
Yes.
we, yeah, because I'm writing everything together. The songs are pinned by Luana Caraffa and Dani Macchi. So Belladonna songs are written by us. And before Belladonna, we were in we had another band, but it was an Italian band called the Di Venere, and it was in Italian. But with this band, we had a deal with a production in Italy. They are making films, movies, and it was in 2003,
Okay.
2000. But things went really, really bad because they didn't do anything and anything at all, and we were blocked. So we couldn't do anything.
Right.
That was our first experience. So we decided, it was a summer of 2004. We decided to start writing new songs, and all of a sudden it came up to us that they could be in English. But it was so crazy at that time because we were in Italy.
Yes.
We did an album in Italian. It was really bad because it was not promoted at all,
Right.
even though we had a label. And it was absurd. I don't explain all the things that happened, but they were really weird. And so we started writing new songs. And at the end of the year, we thought about forming a new band, calling it Belladonna.
Yes.
And then at the end of 2005, we discovered MySpace because we were here alone.
Yes.
Alone. Me and Dani thinking about these songs in English, all the people around us saying, "You're crazy. You are Italian. Why you failed in Italian and now you're trying in English?
Yes.
And you are poor. You don't know anybody. You are not connected with big names. You can do anything at all." But we are dreamer, really. Dreamers. And so when Dani told me, because he discovered MySpace, he told me, "Oh, I saw this new network called MySpace where people can share their music. Let's do it." I didn't even have a computer at that time. Yeah, because I was really, I am still an analogic person.
Right.
Yeah. And so I bought a computer for that purpose, really. And even at university, because in Italy, internet came really late. It was 2001 when all people started using it. 2000. So I didn't need that for my study, for anything.
Yes.
But I bought a computer, and I started working on MySpace. What I can do? So I started adding some people and see if they could listen to the music. And all of a sudden, something really strange happened because many people, because at that time in that social media, you could put music on your page. So many people were starting sharing our music on their page. So the main songs on the page was the songs we just uploaded on MySpace.
Right.
And it was incredible because there was an inner chart internal to MySpace where you cannot cheat. For example, right now you can buy everything on YouTube, on Facebook. It's all fake because you can buy followers, you can buy views, you can buy.
Yes,
but at that time you can do that. So there was this inner charts, and there was the section for independent bands. So we started to say number 1, number 3, amongst all the bands in the world. I thought it was incredible.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that. Yeah, and that's why many people started to discover us too. And thanks to the
Amazing.
social media, yeah, and I'm so sorry that the social media didn't work, stopped working,
Yes. What happened
because
there? What happened with MySpace? Is it still going? Is MySpace still going?
right now I haven't checked
Yeah.
for a long time, but when many companies, this is multinationals, thought that they could earn money from social media, they kind of boycotted MySpace, because MySpace helped too much bands to
Yes.
doing things without paying, without
Yes.
and that was not good for many people, and
Well,
that's why.
I I remember with MySpace, and I had a band as well, and we put
Oh wow!
the music onto MySpace as well. But it also said that there was some sort of agreement where if you put the music onto MySpace, that they had all the rights to the music. And it's like, ooh, I don't know whether we should do this, you know. So we put it up
I
anyway.
don't
But
remember that. I don't think that MySpace had the rights. I don't know if at the end of
mm,
this recounting, I'm talking about early 2006.
right, right,
And
okay.
I don't know, but when we did that, it wasn't that like that.
Okay, okay. And I also read on the online today that you were one of the biggest bands on MySpace for Italian bands. You're even up there with Lacuna Coil. You were one of the most downloaded bands from Italy
Yeah,
on MySpace.
yeah.
And
And they said you why that was why we didn't pay anything, because
yeah,
we didn't pay, and MySpace was not, it didn't work
yeah,
with
that's right.
the money, and
Wow.
and we didn't have the money, so we couldn't do that with money. So it was a miracle for us. It was incredible because
Yeah,
helped us a
right.
lot. And
Yes.
in that period, I was saying that to many people around me, many bands, please start doing this on MySpace. But people didn't understand me. They thought I was having hallucinations. This is not work. This is a waste of time. And they understood that too late, when it started not working anymore.
Yeah,
So.
right. Yeah, it's very, very, very interesting. And so let's go back even further than that. Now, you were born in Italy. Whereabouts were you born in Italy?
I was born in a little village in the center of Italy, and then I moved to Rome when I started studying philosophy at the university.
Oh, okay. So were your mother and father, were they musicians as well?
In a sense, I can say that my father, yes, was a musician, a songwriter, but he had a bad illness that I don't like to talk here about.
It's
And
okay.
so he stopped. He stopped, and but so when I was really young, I knew I could see his guitar. I could see many photographs,
Yes.
and I don't know. Maybe that inspired me a lot.
Yes.
It was something, I don't know if you can get that in the blood, but I started singing, actually whistling, when I was 9 months.
Oh,
And
really?
really, my
Wow.
mother were carrying me in the supermarkets, for example, in 9 months. I started whistling songs,
Wow.
and all people watched them, looked at my mother, like saying, "Why you are a silly woman whistling so high?" You know? And my mother was so ashamed and saying, "It's not me, it's this little monster." Some people were shocked.
That's amazing. Well,
Yeah,
you
it was
got to start
amazing.
somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, that's amazing, because there was a lot of music in my house, so maybe that was my way to remember his songs, and I couldn't
Yes.
talk, and also I started whistling. It was really strange.
That's great. And what sort of, when did you realize that you were able to sing? I mean, because for some people it's very, very difficult for people to sing. So when did you realize that you were able to sort of sing, or
When I was a child, so after whistling, I started singing. That was my second step. And I was really an exhibitionist. So I used to go downstairs in the building I was living, and from the apartment, 3-4 years old, and singing really loud, out loud, because I want all the people around listening to me.
Yes.
And I used to sing it also from the balcony. So eventually my mom decided, I was 4 years old, to present me in a competition for children. And I won. I won. I
wow.
think I won probably a 5, 6. I don't remember. But I started at 4, so I participated every summer at that. It was really next to my village. It was a really big, little thing. But I started doing that since I was 4 years old. But then during my life, until I stopped. I stopped there when I was a child, and then I studied philosophy. And when I started to study philosophy, I realized that I never did something to start a band. So I would say, oh my God, I was just daydreaming about being a rock star, but I'm not doing anything. So it's better to stop thinking about this. So I stopped, and I was so focused into being a logician, because I studied because I studied philosophy of science. So I was really into that. I wanted to start an academic career, and then I met Dani on the street. And that was really mystical, because we recognized ourselves, each other, without we didn't met before. But we started asking ourselves, we meet? I know you, yes, I have the same feeling. And when I went back to my parents' house, I found paintings that I painted when I was 16 or 17 years old, and in that painting it was me and Dani. If you look at the picture, you can see, you recognize him and me with some traits. It was really magical. And then he forced me to sing. Because I didn't want to start again. I said, no. Now I'm into philosophy. I want to do that.
Yes.
Because he could hear from my voice just talking. I can hear something strange. I can. So, and then I started singing again, and then I started writing songs. So that was my dream. I started writing songs with using my guitar, playing piano, and I taught myself. I never been in a music school.
So you were self-taught. That's amazing. I love people that do that as well. I also had that thing where I was never taught before, but I can play the guitar. I can play drums. I just think that I have to listen to the music to be able to play. So what instruments can you play as well?
I can play the instruments I told you, guitar and piano. Yeah, I'm not a virtuoso. No, because I'm mainly a songwriter. So, but I'm playing by myself, and sometimes I play these instruments live, but on stage, I prefer not to have an instrument, because when we have an instrument, you are really stuck to that. You are protecting yourself. And when I like to jump, I like to do many things. So, but sometimes I play the acoustic guitar on stage, or sometimes piano.
Yes. Now, when you do play live, like, at the start, were you nervous? Are you nervous when you go on stage in front of lots of people?
Actually, I'm nervous all the time in my life,
Really?
except yeah, even now. I'm a really nervous person. No, but really emotional, really nervous. But the stage is the only place where
Yeah.
I feel safe. I
Yeah.
feel safe, and I feel totally myself, and I feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's like something really liberating. I can express anything, can find anything so amazing to me. It's
Yes.
like freedom to touch your inner freedom. So it's
Yes.
not about showing yourself to other people. It's like to breathe your inner freedom. So
Yes.
magical experience to me. Yes.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And what music were you listening to at that time? You know, while you were sort of forming the band.
What were our inspiration, etc. But
Uh, well, what was your inspiration before you formed the band? Like, what were
uh,
you listening to before Belladonna?
okay, yes, but it's very difficult to say this because we wanted not to be inspired by anything else but ourselves. So, but
Right.
this is very difficult because in unconscious way we are all influenced by everything. So no one is alone in the world. So even when we talk, our words are filled with meanings that are related to all the concepts, philosophy around us, even though we don't know that. So it's impossible not to be influenced. But having said that, that was not, we didn't have a direct influence. So we started
Yes.
to listen to ourselves and want to do what we really wanted to do.
Yes.
No matters about the genre, no matters if people will like it,
Hmm.
not matters but us, our personal pleasure. Because
Yes.
for us, music is like to having a bliss and to bring out our bliss. For us, every time me and Dani have talked about our songs, like something that wasn't ours, but something that we captured from the
Yes.
air. It was
Yes.
already there, but and we translated because
Yes.
every time we are in a room, or even now via Skype, we can write a song. It's
Right.
magical. It's
Yes.
still there. It's already there, and we can capture that. So we don't care about, as I said, about genres, about what's trend now. Nothing. Or just our inner voices. So how to say that?
Excellent. And you can
Mm.
definitely see you've written quite a lot of songs since that time. Um,
Yeah.
so how do you write a song? I mean, I know that's a very vague question, but I'm always interested to know how the whole process starts. Is it, do you start with the vocals? Do you start with melodies? Do you start with a guitar riff, a piano? How does it start? How do you sit down and do that?
I listen to a chord and I start singing, and all of a sudden there is a melody.
Yes.
So there is a melody, and I find out the chorus. So sometimes I find out the chorus, and then I go back to the verses. This is the process
Yes.
with,
And
with an instrument, just an instrument. Start with a melody, and by playing an instrument with a chord, it's like the melody, it's riding
right.
over the chords, and you can listen. You can even listen in your mind. It's like by singing, it's giving out. So it's giving out by like a horse riding through the chords.
Yes.
And then we use the fake English. The Beatles and many other bands did that.
Yes.
And then maybe the difficult, I mean, the long process writing the lyrics, because when you add all the songs and the melody, and you get also a metric, and you have to feel the metric, the rhythm of the fake words you put that you wrote, and there are a number of syllables, yes.
Yeah.
And you can say, I got out of my house if the space is shorter than that. You can say that. And you have to respect the accent or the rhythm of the melody is really important too. So writing the lyrics, it's a longer process than writing a melody, because the melody is something really spontaneous. It's there in a minute, but lyrics are really different. The process is different. Because in writing lyrics means also that you have to understand what that kind of music or what kind of melody is trying to say, not only in a mathematical way, as I was saying, the space, the syllables, the rhythm, but the meaning, because each melody is hiding a meaning. Because some songs you can recognize listening a lot, after listening a lot, that maybe they are talking about war. Maybe this melody is talking about love. But you have to find out. You can talk about everything. You have to feel, yes, your feelings, but also you have to try to listen what the melody is trying to suggest you. It seems kind of paradoxical, because someone can say, oh, but you wrote the melody, so you knew what you wanted to say. No, because as I said before, the melody was already there, because it's really capturing the melody, and then you have to find out. So it's like a mysterious way and a really exciting way.
Yes, exactly.
You're exploring a lot of things. It's very mystical.
We had a very, very different way. Like I would start with the riff most of the time. I would start with a guitar riff, and then Kirsten would sit in the corner of the room, and she'd just start writing lyrics, words.
Oh, wow.
We'd be playing just ideas, riffs, and then she would add melodies in, and then she would add the vocals in, and then it would all come together. So that's
some songs where you can listen to the riff. We start with the riff too, but not with the riff and the lyrics, but with the riff and then a melody, and then a melody. Yeah, sometimes, for example, till the dua part. Na 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 na. This is a riff from the beginning to the end. It's the same, and so we came up with a melody, and then after the lyrics. Yeah, of course, understand.
It's just good to hear different, like, people. You've written 6 albums, so you've obviously got like a routine on how you do it. So I like to hear how other musicians write. I'm also really interested in this thing, because once I asked on Facebook to all songwriters, what do you do first, the lyrics or the music? So there was a question, and many people answered saying how they were doing the songs, and that was really interesting. For example, I got a musician, an American musician. She was saying that she started by the lyrics, writing like poems, and then finding out a melody. That was totally different process for me. I never did that. It was interesting too, and then to listen to her songs and appreciate the process, no? Yes.
Because it was different.
How long does it normally take? Like, does it take 5 minutes, or a couple of months, or do you work on it for a certain time and then you go, no, Okay, throw it away. How long does it normally take?
To write a song?
Yeah. How long? Like, does it take 5 minutes to write a song, or can it take a couple of months?
No, I never. I've never happened to us, but maybe not because we are so good,
Yes.
because probably it's a different process.
Gotcha.
I think every musician has his or her method to
Yes.
do music. Never happened to us to stay a month on a song. It's possible we stay a day on a song, and for the lyrics, maybe it can take 2-3 days to
Hmm.
find out the right lyrics. But for the music, it's a matter of few minutes
Yes.
because
Now,
it's really extemporaneous. I don't know how to say that. It's a feeling. So
yes.
it's not. You are not reasoning about the melody, staying on instrument. Oh, this is the melody. This is the right note to put here. No, no, we don't do that. It's all
Mm,
natural. It's very
interesting.
natural. So,
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And we talked about it a bit before, but what do when you first released, so your first album was Metaphysical Attraction, is that correct?
yeah.
Yeah, in 2006. So what was the opinion of the your band singing in English? Because I know a band in Brazil that started singing in English, and a lot of the media and the press, they didn't like that. That oh, you were like a sellout. Why are you singing in English for? You're in Brazil. You should be singing in Portuguese.
Yeah, I
It sort
understand.
of breaks the sort of the code.
Oh,
um,
yeah. The
so
national code.
did you have any sort of experiences like that?
Maybe from some people, yes. I think like the band you mentioned.
Mm,
And yes, it was a big obstacle here in Italy because people, I don't mean listeners, but journalists, etc. They were more into Italian music, and so they thought, first of all, they thought Belladonna is a metal band, which is really wrong because we are not metal. But sometimes people, for example, if you wear black, you're metal. So that's what you do. You start doing reggae,
Well,
and you are wearing your black clothes. You're
well,
doing metal.
well,
So,
it's just funny. It's just funny that I'm looking at all these things, and Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden played you on his radio station. You
yeah.
were you were in Metal Hammer, but you're like you said, you're really not a heavy metal band.
No, no, we are not metal at all because my music, the roots of our music, if you go there, it's more blues than
Mm,
than anything else, and really classic rock
mm.
in a
Uh,
sense. But it's similar to the 70s music, where lots of piano, and the piano is a main ingredient on the songs. It's not, and the melodies are not at all metal. It's not metal. This is not a
ah,
metal band, but we love metal. I don't say that because I want to say something bad about metal music, but this is not what we are doing. And metal bands know that we are not a metal band.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
yeah, and the metalheads know that we are not a metal band. Bruce Dickinson, when he played us on his radio show on
Yes.
BBC, he, he said we are rock noir,
Yeah.
as we used to say. It's not
Yes.
metal.
Yes.
It's not metal. So I don't understand when journalists are saying that we are metal. It's
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
know. I don't know what they. It's just funny how they want to put you in one sort of genre of music, but
No, but
when.
there's another thing because in the last years and last 2 decades probably, metal became an uncool music. That's
Yes.
yes, those journalists when you say that you're metal, are in a subtle way saying you are not cool.
Yes.
You are cool when you are doing, I don't know, you are wearing clothes broken and you are out of tune and say songs like this, you are more cool. But when you have a strong image, when you have choruses on songs, it's not just a song that doesn't go anywhere, you are not cool. So this is really bad because actually we are a self-produced band. We are not rich, we've never been rich. So these people saying that we probably were too much from the pictures, from the but maybe there are more rich people that just dress in another way and they look like cool people. This is just a fake. I don't like that.
Yeah. If you got long hair and you're wearing black, you're metal apparently.
It's so stupid that I can't believe that. But
Yeah.
and me and Dani thought many times about a great thing about the metal world, that they're really connected to the art. That they really are really listeners and journalists are really connected to music, so they don't care about your genre because they knew we were not a metal band, but they liked us despite that because they recognized that we are doing our thing.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
that was more important for them. Instead, all the kind of journalists are thinking if you are cool or not, if you are metal or not. This stupid things is very silly. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and it's Belladonna music is your music. It's funny how people want to put you in a genre. It's your music. You have, just going through the CDs that the albums that you've brought out. The Noir Album, there was a light in 2011, 2013, 2016. You brought out the album, the Orchestral Album.
The Orchestral Album.
Yes.
Yeah, that was made with crowdfunding. That was an incredible thing because.
So let's talk about that. Like, what was the experience like working with a full-fledged orchestra?
Oh, that was amazing. That was one of the best experience of my life, especially because it was made thanks to all the people that joined the crowdfunding, because we didn't have the money that was a dream. So we thought, okay, if we one day we do a crowdfunding, that would be for a dream, and our dream would be to play live because the album was recorded live with the orchestra. We played all together. It would be to do that with an orchestra, but that is a really expensive thing to do. So that's why we started a crowdfunding. So many people subscribed. That was incredible. It was so amazing. And so with the money, we could pay all the orchestral players. And that was magical, especially I remember it was recorded in 2 days. I remember the second days at the end, we were recording Morpheus, the track of the orchestral album, and I could see all the orchestrals and the director, which is a really great, incredible composer, Angelina Yershova. She's she's from Russia, but she's living in Italy. She's an incredible piano player. I can't wait that her album will be released, I think in a month or two, which is a piano album. And she's a really incredible director, and she's into experimental music. She's teaching in Norway sometimes. She's very great. And she was, so I could see her and all the orchestral people, and all of a sudden I felt like something really mystical in the air, and like something I could not explain, and like something, I don't know if you can say that shamanic. I'm not person into that kind of thing, but I can't find another term. And when I went downstairs because I was upstairs in that building,
Yes.
I could see them from a monitor because otherwise I couldn't stay with them because otherwise the voice could interfere with the orchestra. All people were crying. They were all crying
Wow.
because they felt the same. So,
Yes.
and that thing is captured in that track in Morpheus. So people all together, we felt that emotion, and I maybe people listening to that track could feel the same. I don't know, but
Yes.
it was there. I could see all the orchestras crying
Wow.
after playing the song. So that was incredible.
That's an amazing experience. I would have loved to seen that. How did you go about writing with the orchestra? How was that writing process? Did you come up with the music first and then the orchestra come in and come over the top and play it over that? Or were they?
There were all songs rearranged with the orchestra.
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
sorry
No,
to say,
no.
yeah. There was
Gotcha.
some. There was just a new song. It's called Maria Spiltirini.
Hmm.
But all the other songs were from all the albums, so it's nice to listen to the original version and the orchestral version.
Yeah, right.
For
Right, right.
example, till the duas parts, it's with the riff in the original version in the Noir album, but in this version, I don't sing. I'm in hey, I sing I'm in hey with the orchestra. It's totally different.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And with you not being trained as well, it was also interesting because I'm not trained as well. So if they were asking me to play like a B minor, F sharp, blah 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 blah, I'd be like, what the hell is that? You know, give me something to listen to and then I can play to it, So that yeah, it's very, very interesting. But yeah, like I said before, and I'm genuine, like when I say that I love how every album is just different and unique. Like it's just, and I love musicians that do that
Oh,
don't
thank you very
want to
much.
be,
Thank you.
yeah, that don't want to be put in a genre. It's Belladonna music.
We called rock noir at the beginning on MySpace because many people looking at us thought that we were gothic, that they were metal,
Yeah,
and
right.
we wanted to say something that no, we are not this is not goth music, this is not metal music. So what is that? We call that rock noir because noir, if you think about the movies, about literature, and our lyrics, there are noir stories in there. It's not paranormal of the mind, something about the crimes, not about vampires, not about that kind of the serious thing, but account our mind, our processes, and sometimes just crime stories. Like, for example, A Manhattan Tale is a story of a girl that is shooting at a man because she wanted to take revenge of that man. And all the songs is about that story. It's a crime story. So I always thought, oh, okay, this is the best thing to define our music is call it noir, rock noir.
Yes.
But having said that, it's not because we want to fit in our genre. So we don't care about that. In fact, the new songs are really, I feel that they are totally different from our beginning, more
Yes.
than the last albums. The new songs are more open,
Yes.
and
Agreed.
more into, I don't know, I say Beatles, but they are not like Beatles songs, but they are different in that kind of way. But it's
Yes.
not because we thought, okay, we want to do that kind of music.
Yes.
The music that is coming out from us, it's like when a person is aging. The face is the same, but it's changing. It's
Yes.
changing. So that's why now our music is changing because it's a natural process.
Yeah. Once you recorded that album with the orchestra, did you
Yeah.
then go and tour with the orchestra, or was it just the band?
No, it was too expensive to do that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Suppose.
So
Maybe one day, maybe
yeah.
one day. For example, we were invited to go to the Dubai Expo this year, but I don't know now if with the COVID how things will go. But we were invited there with the orchestra, so I don't know if we will do that. In the expo that will take place in Dubai this year, Expo 2020. Yeah.
Well, Craig wants you to, if you do play with the orchestra again, I want to be there to watch it, okay?
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be incredible. I would like to do that. And Dubai, after all, is not very far from you. So, and it's far, but it's not as far as Italy. So.
Right. Let me go back before. The album before that was Shooting Dice with God in 2013, and then the Orchestral Album. And then you brought out a mixtape in 2017. And I think this is a fantastic idea. So I saw a picture of you holding up an old school cassette.
Yeah.
So tell us about this.
Yeah, that was because first of all, I have to say that we do everything by ourselves because we are still self-produced. So we sometimes think about what can we do right now? What can we produce? What can we sell? So we came out with this idea in a time where all the people were printing vinyls. We said,
Yes.
well, not to do a cassette. So, and then some other people did that after that. But
Yes.
after doing this, and I thought about writing the titles on the cassettes. It was like in the 80s, in the 90s, when you just we were the first pirates, no, to steal music and write on the cassettes the titles. Yeah, but it was good. Many people appreciate that because it was nice.
It's such a cool idea. I just thought,
Thank you.
Yeah, I would have loved. Actually, I don't even think I have a cassette player anymore. I used to have a cassette player, and I used to do the same thing. Just put all my favorite songs on the cassette. So, just think that's a great idea, and for your fans as well.
Yeah.
So your latest album is No Star Is Ever Too Far.
Yeah.
Which came out last year. Now, have you done touring for this album yet?
No, we haven't. And we were planning doing something in the States and going to the States. But right now it's possible doing things.
Yes. Yeah. So
and we wanted to go in the UK too. But right now it's possible to think about that. But as I said to you at the beginning in our interview, we are working on other things right now. So we are, even if you are not playing, we are doing other things. And that was it before this bad situation. So we are still doing these other things with our music, of course. So it's always our music. And yes, but me and Dani played sometimes some readings because I'm also a writer and I read my second books last year, and so we played some songs about the new album during the readings.
Oh, cool.
Acoustic versions with piano and guitar during the readings.
Right, that's so cool. So. Yeah. I wanted to ask, as I was going through your songs today, as I was saying, and I heard two cover songs of two of my favorite bands that you've already done. I saw Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine and Kiss, I Was Made for Loving You.
Yeah.
Who is the Kiss or Guns N' Roses fan in the Belladonnas, and why did you choose these two songs to cover?
Oh, first of all, they are incredible songs.
Yes,
So
agreed.
yeah, you have to recognize that. I don't remember, but it was really. I remember that at the beginning of Belladonna, even I'm talking about 2006, 2007. Me and Dani sometimes imagined the Kiss song at that time in this other version.
Yes.
Even I say, yeah, it would be great to play that song in this version. And I think that once we play that song in a concert in that version,
Oh wow.
If I don't get wrong, or maybe just we rehearsal for the song, because we planned to do one day, and then many years passed, and at the end we did that. And it was also, I don't know, an anti-sexist thing to do, because it's, I don't know, it's the same lyrics put in another way, because sung by a woman who's saying that she wants to do something to you in the dark. So what she wants to do? Maybe she wants to put fire. Maybe she's a witch. Who knows? Maybe she. I don't know, because I am myself, so I can judge. But I can see that my voice is not the voice of a really little child saying, I was loved. No, I was. I was made alone. It's very different.
I think that's how Paul Stanley sings it now.
It's weird.
Yes, it's just two, like you said before, two amazing songs. And for my listeners, if you haven't had a chance to hear these two versions, they're on YouTube and they're on the internet. Yeah, it's just a totally different version of it. It's like, and it's just really well done, in my opinion. And go and check it out.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Some people appreciated the fact that the version was so different.
Yes.
So
yes.
they Belladonnized it. No, Belladonnized it. But other people say, no, this is not the right version. Okay, this is. We are not a cover band. We are not doing covers.
You're not. You're a metal band, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a metal band. You should have played a metal version of it. Come on. So just going through with your touring as well. Like, how have you adapted to like with the touring? You know, you've done a lot of touring. So how do you go from being this, being on stage and in front of lots of people, and then all of a sudden being yourself?
On stage, for me, it's I experience myself a lot. It's a really natural environment for me. Yes. But when I stay alone, I experience something different, which is still me. It's still me. It's playing instruments, writing songs, reading books, painting. I think a person has many faces. It's not that a person is fake, but we have many shades. We are really a lot nuanced. It's just a different kind of expression of yourself. So this is the way I see it.
Yeah, and you're speaking about reading books. Now, I saw a couple of books that you've read recently, and you also mentioned in the recording Unhinged book.
Sean Carroll?
Yes. So that you mentioned. Okay. You mentioned. How did you?
Oh, because I'm a philosopher of science, philosophy doctor, and my field but still is philosophy of science, and I'm really big physics aficionado. Sean Carroll, I loved him because I met him through the internet. And it was one of the people I could understand better in English when I wanted to understand how to pronounce English in a way.
Yes.
But apart from that, and I was really interested by his mind, because he's a theoretical physicist, but at the same time he's a kind of philosopher, because his approach is really analytical, and he studied philosophy before going to the university specialized in astronomy, astrophysical, and then became a cosmologist, a theoretical physicist. He's working at Caltech and doing many things everywhere. And now he's selling books, and the books are going very, 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 very well. But so there is always a philosophical part in their book, in his books. I mean that in the history of science and in our culture, sometimes it happens that philosophy and science got divided. And but at the beginning of our history of thoughts, it wasn't like that, because all philosophers were scientists. For example, Einstein read all books about Immanuel Kant. He was really into philosophy, because he recognized that you need to have a logical instrument to approach reality, and a way to define the reality. There are many philosophical questions about that. It's not just understanding equation. You don't go anywhere if you don't understand where you want to go. And where you want to go, it's something philosophical. That's why I appreciate really Sean Carroll. By the way, he's a really nice person, because we wrote each other a lot, and he bought our albums, and he joined the crowdfunding too for the Orchestral Album. That was really incredible for me.
Wow. What an amazing experience. And one more release that you brought out that I forgot to mention was the Belladonna Soundscape Collection Volume 1. Can you tell us a little bit about that for like the listeners that are not in Italy?
Yeah, the Soundscape Collection is something that was released only for the industry, the cinematographic industry in the US. So mainly it's full of bits of our music that is adapted for being used to movies and trailers and many other things. That's why this is incredible, because they started using our music in many trailers, and even in the last Micheal Moore movie.
Yes. Micheal Moore's movie. I've just got a list here, like the Fantastic Four, Godless, Split. That was one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. Black Panther, The Equaliser 2. I mean, it's just, the list goes on. Stephen King's Dark Tower. I mean, it's just amazing how they have been able to take you like a part of your music and put it into the film. I think such an incredible achievement. Like that,
especially for a self-produced band. It's incredible.
So was that your goal all along to do this, or was it just like, whose idea was it to do this?
I don't know, but it wasn't our goal, because we never wanted to do this thing in a specific way, but always we were always our music has been always related to movies in a way, because I think talking about the imagery there is in a song, probably, I don't know.
Yes.
And if you listen to the Orchestral Album, you can probably get that too. But when things happen to you, they are always surprising you. They are different from everything you expected in your life. So it just happened, and then after I think happened. Well, the first thing was with the Minions because
Oh, yes.
we have been chosen for the international TV spot for there was 50 Shadows of Yellow. It was really
Nice.
funny. And the music was really dramatic. It was a big contrast. And then after that, many things happened. And we discovered that people working in that field are really, really anarchists. Could you say that? Because they don't care if you are big, if you are famous, if you're,
Mm,
they care only if your music
is right.
fits in things. So this is they're more meritocracy, maybe. How could you say that? For example, in Italy, if you are not a big name, you can do anything.
Mm,
You're not allowed to do anything. But for them, they don't care if you are famous or not. They care about the music.
yes. Have you been to the cinemas to actually watch a
Oh
movie
yes,
with?
well, when it happened,
Yes.
yes, when it happened, for example, for Michael with the last movie, the documentary of Michael
Yes.
Moore, yes, I've
Yes.
been to the premiere of the movie to see
Oh,
that.
right. Right.
That was
That's great.
incredible, incredible experience. Yes, it's incredible when it happens to you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. I forgot to mention one more, My Cousin Rachel as well. That was one of the first ones, right?
No, no, there were other movies. For example, Remember Me by Gabriele Muccino used our music, but it was an Italian movie. But he went to the States, and
Oh,
they put,
yes.
yeah, Remember Me with Monica Bellucci. I was saying, and right now I don't remember the titles, but there were other
Yes.
movies like Liberi. It's another Italian movie, and recently. There was an Italian movie that used our music. It was a noir movie,
Mhm.
Villetta con ospiti. It's the translation is guest in the villa, and probably would be translated outside of Italy too. The director chose two songs, and that was amazing.
Yeah, right. Right. Just winding up, I've got a couple more questions to ask. It says here that you're one of your engineers for your recording of And There Was Light in 2011 was Mike Tacky. And
Tachi?
Tachi, sorry. And he was a part of Metallica's Black Album.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it was for that
so
too.
so what was that? What was that experience working with him?
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice guy, a nice person. It was really interesting.
Yes.
Interesting, yeah, to see how he approaches things. Yes, it
Yeah.
was really interesting.
Excellent. And you have toured with Duff McKagen's band in 2009. Did you get a chance to meet the guy?
Oh, that was incredible because we played before Duff McKagen, and it
Yes.
was in Pinacella di Cervi. I don't remember the name because it's in Tuscany,
Right.
and I didn't expect that Duff McKagen was so warm. He was in front of the stage, listening to us for the
Yeah,
concert.
right.
Yeah, yeah, and he was screaming, saying, "Oh, you're so cute!" Yeah, really, I didn't expect that. And then we went together on the day after. We went to play with tour of the Inch Nails and with Korn, Mars Volta. That's
Yes.
McKagen. And that's McKagen said on stage, yesterday we played with a really good band, Belladonna.
Oh,
It's really,
really?
yeah, it's really humble.
That's
It's
so
really
cool.
humble and he's a really nice person. That was incredible. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
expect that because we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can play before a big band, but they don't talk to you. So it's
Right.
the, yeah,
That's
that was
great.
exceptional.
Yeah, that's really cool. And speaking of live sets, like, and you've got like 6 full albums. How do you make a set now? Are you playing mostly new songs, or do you still play some of the old songs from the first album?
It depends where we are playing. Sometimes we have our how you say that our classics.
Yes, yes.
For example, Foreverland. Many people, because many people listen to that song at the beginning, so they want to listen to that live. But sometimes we change the sets, the set of the songs every time, and we try to follow a narrative that is emotional. That is
Yes.
emotional. So we try to figure out, okay, we can play this, and then after this, and there is like I don't know, like a screenplay for a movie, no, where you imagine what is happening next.
Yes.
And but during live concerts, we improvise a lot
Oh,
because this is probably a difference because sometimes nowadays people musicians don't improvise because sometimes they have the click, the drummer has the click
yes.
in the head, in the ears, and sometimes they have basses on stage, so the basis for the songs, adding strings, adding things. We don't have anything, we are just 5 of us playing, and so we can do everything. We can improvise, we can
That's
finish a song and do something new, and I can dance. I don't know.
yeah, right.
Depends on the moment.
That's so cool, and it's so good for your fans as well that you're able to do that, to be a
Yeah.
bit like spontaneous, you know.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, because we like that. We like that because we don't want. I don't want to say bad things about people doing otherwise, but
yes,
many bands have these things on stage, and so it's not really a live experience. But people sometimes don't know because they cannot realize that. Okay, you are listening to some strings, but strings are not played by anyone on stage. Why are there? But when they are there, you are not allowed to do what you want because this
yes,
is this is a machine that you can go out of time. You can stop that and do something else. So I don't know. It's like to be in chain. I don't like that.
yes, yes. That's great. I wanted to finish off with this one as well. Like, I was reading that you were nominated for on the ballot form in
Mhm.
2008 for a Grammy for Best Rock Performance.
Sorry, I'm laughing because the first time someone told us that they discovered this, I was thinking, as in, it's impossible. They they read a wrong name. This is not us.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
I couldn't believe that.
Wow.
It happened because of my space, because probably someone that were picking up songs for the ballot
Yes.
was into our music, and then we met her. She presented the songs to the ballot, but at the beginning we thought that it was fake. It was not real, but um, now it's more difficult to recognize about if you think about fake news, what is real and what is not. But at the time, you couldn't, you didn't know how to verify these things.
Yes.
We, yeah, and then, but it was real, so it was incredible for us. It was
Wow.
really incredible. Hmm.
Amazing, amazing. And finally, what is the future for Luana and for also Belladonna? What is the future plans?
I would say that we are every day working on our music. So since we are self-produced band, sometimes the plans are coming out of nowhere.
Right.
Nothing's really planned as when you have a label, for example. Okay, next year you are going to do this, and this summer you are going to do that. Because we are every day we are working on our band, and we have to find out something to do, what we can do. So right now, as I told you, we are working on many projects for our music to be used in movies and things like that. And apart from that, we are writing many songs for a new album because we write a lot of songs and then we decide what to put in the album. So, for example, now we wrote in this period we wrote 20 new songs.
Wow.
So we want to, I know it's a lot. It's a lot because sometimes people say, oh, they take 2 years to write an album. And we wrote the songs, but and then we decide we will listen all of them together, and then we decide what to put in the album, and then we decide what to do with the other songs. Oh no, maybe we come out with a new project using those songs. We don't know.
Well, why doesn't Belladonna come out to Australia and do some shows here?
It would be incredible for us.
Have you been to Australia yet?
No, I've never been to Australia, never in my life. That would be really a dream come true. For an independent band, self-produced band, it's not really easy to do the things in terms of money. I mean, because we are not someone else paying for everything, so it's very difficult. But who knows? Maybe in the future we will do that.
Well, you're more than welcome to come to Australia. I think a lot of fans who here will be very interested in watching you live and with your music as well. It's so different. It's so all different styles of music, and I like that. Like you haven't stuck to one genre. You're always sort of pushing the boundary to make it interesting, not only for yourself, but for your fans as well. So I think you will get a lot of fans here in Australia as well.
Wow, thank you very much.
No,
That's nice.
and sorry, I wanted to say one more thing about your vocals, and I know you're on here and you're my guest, but super powerful voice.
Thank you very much.
I don't know how you've kept it this powerful for so long. How do you keep it so strong, with your vocals?
I don't do anything. Actually,
Really?
I'm trying to stop smoking right now. I just wrote a message to myself on the wall. I stuck with a tape in the wall, and I wrote, if you smoke, you are a dickhead. That is what I wrote. This morning, because I decided many times to stop smoking, but sometimes it's difficult for me. It's very difficult. So, and now I want to do like people in prison and push the line and three lines, then bar them so you count the days. And so I hope that this message will help me.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, you don't want to be a dickhead, do you? And one question I wanted to ask was, what would you say to inspiring musicians that are out there that are doing it really, really tough? What would you say to inspiring musicians that want to be like you?
Thank you very much for asking this question and saying that maybe someone would like to be like me. I don't know. But I like to say that for me, from my experience, I always be surrounded by people that trying to pull me. They try to pull me down, saying, "No, you aren't going to do anything because you are not rich. You don't know anyone. You have to." You have to have many connections to do what you. So you have to open your eyes and realize that the world is different from your imagination. But I was really stubborn because I thought, no, I want to do what I want in the way I want. even though I don't have a special connection, even though yeah, I don't have a lot of money, and I really it's not easy because you have
Yes.
to work. You really have to sacrifice everything: vacations, relationships, nights, everything. Because
Yes.
I'm working 24 hours a day on my music, on my band. But I'm happy sometimes to say what happened to us because I want to demonstrate that sometimes it's possible to do something if you insist, if you really believe in what you do, despite all what other people are saying.
Yes.
Because really this is mediocrity feelings around us that when people want you to give up because they have give up with their lives. They don't
Yes.
want you to believe in something. So I'm not going to say that everyone will succeed. I'm not going to say that I will become the biggest artist on the world. I don't care about that. I'm caring about doing what I like to do. And this is the biggest success. And every person who really loves uh, everything that a person loves really a lot. They can insist, they can work for that, they can believe that in that. No, no, I don't know. Sometimes I love to share the story of my bands just for that because I want to say I'm one of them. I can I live that. I live that
Yes.
with my life. I didn't came from money. I didn't come from money. I didn't have big connections. Uh, I was no one. I'm
Yes.
still no one, but at least I can do what I want. This is
Yes.
this is really great, I think.
Have the freedom to be creative, right?
Oh,
Now,
this is priceless. This is
yes.
priceless at the freedom because that's why we decided to stay self-produced because in a way or another you have to compromise yourself. I mean in an artistic way. You have to follow some trend or maybe some people that are working for you, giving money you to do something. They want you to do the things in another way because they think this is better in a commercial way. We don't care about that. We don't care about what is trend. We care only about our music, what we want to express. I don't care about anything else. So it's difficult, but I want to wake up every day and say I'm doing what I like to do. I don't. Otherwise, I would choose to do another kind of job
Yes.
that I don't like. I would do that. I don't want to do this music in another way.
Yes. No, that's a great answer. And finally, are there any sponsors or endorsements that you want to promote? Your social media? Yes.
Yes, yeah. They can write us. Oh, we stopped using the Facebook page.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but we still answer messages, but we stopped posting from there because it was impossible. We posted one thing, and inside you could read this post hasn't reached anybody. If you don't put at least €3, you
Right.
so you we didn't have the money to pay for each post. So we said, okay, fuck off, Facebook. We don't use you anymore. We know that Instagram is owned by Facebook, but at least now the posts they are not really visible if you don't pay, but it's not invisible
Yes.
as in Facebook. Facebook, it's evil. It's evil. You have to pay everything
Yeah,
if you
that's
if
true.
you run a page if you run a page. So it was useless to post there. But we still answer messages. The page is still there, and we answer all the people on Instagram.
Yes.
And so, and all people can listen to us via Spotify.
Yes.
You can listen to all our albums are there and on YouTube, but mainly songs, all the songs, all the albums are on Spotify, so
Awesome.
they can listen.
And I've just saw here that your Instagram is at Belladonna_band. So there you go. They update the pictures pretty regularly. Same with your Instagram as well. You're putting regular pictures up on Instagram as well. So go check it out. And the link's there for Spotify and for YouTube as well. So lots of film clips. And we didn't even talk about the film clips as well. I mean, maybe we can talk about the film clips another time.
Okay.
You've done so many. Maybe we can talk about that next time.
Yeah.
All right, Luana, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you're a super busy girl, creating music.
It was really my pleasure, and I'm so happy that.
If I come to Italy, then I would love to see your band play.
Thanks so much, Greg. You are a really, really nice person. It was really amazing to talk to you.
Okay, thank you, Luana. I'll say bye for now.
Bye, and thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
And good luck with Belladonna.
Thank you.